SGC here. Directed by Jim at The Office with his wife Emily Blunt, starring 2 random kids, but stars a deaf actress playing a deaf character, which is always a plus because you got to represent that diversity and reality. So what are you expecting? You didn't even know this movie existed.
No, I did not, but I'm really excited to see it because of the representation factor.
Yeah. So just basic rundown: quiet place, make noise, monster find you, you dead. So that is with the basic plot. It's been crazy in reviews. Everyone's really loving it.
Really?
Though my trusted source gave it more of a realistic score. So I will probably hope for that realistic score. Because when I first saw the trailer, I didn't expect this thing to be blowing up so much. Everyone's loving it. I mean, it's great that everyone's loving it, but I did not expect it to be that good when I first saw that trailer. And
I didn't want to spoil anything, so I didn't watch any trailers or anything like that, and I just came because you recommended this movie to me, so here we go. Do you think that you're going to be hunted down during the movie time because you're going to be screaming too much?
No way. I don't scream.
No, me either. We'll see.
Well there. Anyways, this is before and this is after. So, we're done. We didn't have a full theater, but people were just kind of noisy. The guy beside me had his phone on. I wanted to punch him because it was annoying.
He kept squeaking a chair back and forth. It was so irritating.
I know. Overall, it was interesting. I agree with that. It could have been a lot better in my...
Oh, it could have been a lot better.
Well, no, it's just like, not that. It's that there could have been more to deal with. I think more. Like, it was a good sort of groundbreaking in terms... I mean, sort of, like, a base was good. Like, the whole concept, the monster designs, the family. Actors are great. Subtitles are great. I really did enjoy the monster designs because it's just, like, very different from what we've seen lately. And it's just actually good. Because sometimes I go in a movie, I'm like, oh, there's monsters. Like, it's eccentric to the movie. And then the designs are just, like, crap or just, like, really poorly
animated.
Yeah.
So I think like the thing that I found really interesting is what makes Aliens so creepy and scary is that Giger's designs don't include eyes, yet the monsters can still find you. So I thought that was really interesting. And then I was thinking, oh yes, as concept artists, a lot of times people are looking at what would make a monster creepier or more unique. So one of the things that a lot of monsters have is kind of like a humanoid design. So I really like how this one also, like Aliens, they take away one sense. But it was really cool how, like, you'll see that this monster specializes in sound and how it just, at some point, it does kind of actually look a lot like the aliens from Aliens way back then, but instead of having, like, a little baby, like, alien come out, it's more like the ear canal opens up and then you see this, like, wet, pulsing ear canal, which is, like, really gross and kind of familiar, but really very creepy.
Yeah. I also like how they sort of piecemealed its introduction. Like, in the beginning, bam, you see it once, and then slowly you see it more, and then you see the ear canal thing, but then you still don't see it whole until the very end, where it's like the confrontation, and it's like...
Yeah, that was really insane. And I like how, like, a lot of monster movies, they only show, like, shadow moving. It's like, oh, it's like, maybe that's what we call a cheap production. I don't know.
It's like Godzilla, the new one. They finally showed them, and it was so lackluster. It was so, like, why do you hide them? The whole movie. Yeah.
But this was really, really realistic. The weight, the sound weight. Oh yeah, about the sound, actually. I normally don't actually like watching too many movies in Ultra AVX because I find it's too loud.
Yeah.
So this time, I was like, we got into the auditorium, and it was the one that usually shows the super nice sound quality theater. And I was
we got it for cheap.
Yeah, it was a nice deal. But this time, it was like, because everybody had to be quiet, it was actually a very awesome experience.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love how it's subtitled. Sometimes, like, in the movies, like, they go from, like, loud explosions, they blow out your eardrums, and then they whisper, mumble stuff under their breath, and you don't catch it. So it's awesome. I always like watching things with subtitles on, but I think, like, this is really interesting because it turns it the other way around. Because if we didn't have subtitles, we wouldn't be able to understand the whole sign language, and it kind of, like, shifts my perspective as a hearing able person. So I thought that was, like, really
I do wonder how, like, the actual sign language holds up. Because, you know, sometimes when movies are done in foreign languages, and if you're that foreign speaker, it's just like, that was just dumb. Like, yeah, so I was just wondering. But anyways, what do you think of the acting?
Oh, it was amazing. I think because they had to use so much body language, and it's all about the tension in their face and the quietness of it and the slowness of it. I thought it was amazing. I thought it was really good. Emily Blunt, I feel like she really nailed the neurotic, like tough mother figure. It was really, you feel like you're there because the whole theater, aside from the really annoying guys, is like super, super quiet because all of us you're in there actually. It feels like you're really in there.
Yeah. And worst pregnancy ever. I think hands down probably this is the worst birth ever in film. In story context anyways.
I don't know how she was able to stand and all that, like why she's not passed out. She lost so much blood.
Yeah. She was fine though. I mean, like, plot holes aside, I think it was a good sort of atmosphere, a good vibe. Actors delivered, and I read interviews where John or Jim was saying how they cut out some story points, and I was totally thinking like other people, like the other like, surrounding areas. Yeah. I mean, he's even interested in sequels or whatever, but whatever. I mean, this whole world building thing, and funny enough, they actually did think about including this in the Cloverfield world, and then they're like,
that makes sense.
Yeah, and then afterwards, they're like, no, this thing can stand on its own, and I'm like glad, and I mean, I would have been fine either way because it would have been great world building of different monster designs for the Cloverfield franchise, but at the same time, it's like, oh, another monster film, and it was done right. And do you think the fact that they're actually married in real life helps, or it would have made no difference?
I think it definitely helps when people have like real life chemistry, because there's some things that are like really, I don't know, you feel like it's really believable.
Yeah, I mean, like the daughter, she's an actual deaf actress, and I think some of her body language really, it's not your hearing able person body language, so it's different. So I think like if you just hired a hearing able to play a deaf, you would totally miss those nuances. And
I feel like it really helps that sound is so important in this movie, not just because it's part of the plot, but because whenever you shift to her point of view and you're seeing things from her point of view, it always cuts out almost sound completely. So I feel like you kind of really get to feel what she feels, and I think that's like really interesting. Yeah.
And also, like speaking on that, jumping around, like how, like when he's listening to iPod, then the music kicks in like super loud.
Yeah.
Or when he hears like just the river running, you see all these just like very dominant sort of sounds. I really like how they incorporate that into the whole system they had. It's like, oh, there's a louder sound and you can talk type of thing. And yeah, I mean, there is a suspense of belief with the whole birthing process and the baby not crying that much, because I swear a newborn would just cry endlessly.
Sure, but I also think like, hey, it's the world is ending, and you know that there's monsters out there. So what do? We're gonna have unprotected sex and create new babies. Yeah, let's do that, because that works so well with the other, the other children, right?
Yeah, because that's the one thing that irked me. I sort of wish they could have simply fixed that, sort of just changed the dates. Like, just have them,
be pregnant when that happened.
Yeah, then,
I don't know.
Then that would have sort of solved everything.
Like, we didn't know.
If you're so irked about that point.
That irked me.
Yeah. I mean, it did, because it's like, what's the point of all these dates? Because you clearly could have changed
Didn't they do that with Walking Dead as well?
Yeah, she got pregnant too in Walking Dead. And the baby is born. I don't know if it's dead or not, because I haven't seen the series. But in the comics, it's dead. But anyways, yeah, good job, John Krasinski and Emily Blunt and the children. Sorry, I don't know your names, but good job. I really love how John actually pushed for a deaf actress. I love how it's like this, just really inclusion, and it's just, we need this, like just more diversity, more inclusion of like people. And I've been on sets, and it's like a hard like world to be in. So I'm glad they found people. Anyways, hopefully those sort of pave way for more, diverse people to be on set and be characters and less just be themselves on the screen rather than having a totally able person do a handicap sort of.
Yeah,
thing.
that's super sucky.
Yeah, just.
Or having.
But that's another.
That's another big can of worms that don't
exactly.
open.
Anyways, that is all. This is the before and after for A Quiet Place. Out.